everybody. This is the fifth lesson of learning JavaScript. And today we're going to be experimenting with a new, um, idea called functions. Now, you've probably heard of functions before, and they're a lot like variables. Functions basically will give us like such f of x, and then, they'll give us an equation after that, and you have to solve that and whatnot. Well, here we're using functions a bit differently. So functions can be used to make long lines of code smaller or more manipulatable, as one would say. So, for example, you see I have all of this code right here, and all of this code basically made this, except for this area, the background, fill, and rect and whatnot. All of this code created this car, all of this. And so there's actually an easier way. Well, not an easier way, but let's say you want to make more cars. Well, that would be a lot more, because that means in order to do that, you would have to copy and paste that multiple times, and then after that, change the x and y values a little bit differently. And that's too much work. Well, functions actually make that a lot easier for us. So what you want to do is, first thing you want to do is we're going to go down here, and we're going to start. So let's say we want to call this function draw car. So it's actually a lot more, it's very simple. You say var draw car, and then equals function, and then a bracket, and another bracket with a semicolon at the end. Just put that down here. Alright, so there you go. You have that. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to take all of this code right here, and you want to input it into that function. So let's copy this. And then let's take this away, since we have our function. Alright, now you see everything's gone. You're like, wait a minute, what just happened? Why did I do all that? Well, what happened is, you basically told the computer that, yeah, I want to call this, I want you to make this function var draw car, or draw car, but I only want you to do it when I say so. So it's basically like telling, remember that dog we just talked about, Paul? It's basically saying, yeah, I want you to go and fetch that stick, but only when I tell you to go fetch that stick. Don't do it at any other time. So what you need to do at this point is call the function. So you press enter, and then write out your function. So draw car, and then two parentheses, and then a semicolon at the end. And there you go. It drew out your car and the entire background and everything like that. So let's make this a bit more realistic by taking the background out of here. There you go. Alright, so now that you've done that, and there's this gaping space right there. Alright, now that you've done all that, let's say you want to make a lot more cars. So, okay, let's draw car, parentheses, and there you go. Draw car, parentheses, there you go. Alright, so you've called that function a bunch of times, but what's happening is doing it in the exact same place. So then now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to insert parameters. So as you can see here, I have two different variables variable x and variable y. So, and what these variables do are they basically giving me my x and my y. So, my x for the top of the car is x plus 2, and the y-intercept is y minus 3. So you have 50 plus 2, which is 52, and 100 minus 3, which is 97. So what you want to do is you want to tell your function that when you call this, you want to be able to tell it within these parentheses, the parameters, where you want the function to go. So how you're going to do that is you're going to go to your function, and you see how you have your x's, your x and your variable x and variable y, to x, comma, y. So there you go, you have your parameters. But now, now let's try and put it in. Now you may be wondering, okay, I've done all that. Why is it still not allowing me to tell where I want it to go? Well, that's the thing. What happens is your function does do that, but what happens is variable x and variable y equaling 50 and 100 keep overriding these two parameters. So what you need to do is you need to delete these. And so now that you've done that, okay, your car has disappeared because you haven't told it where you want it to go. So when you tell it where to go, so you say maybe 150, there you go, you've done it. And now that you told your car where you want it to go, you can do that for all the rest of them. So I wonder why is there a random wheel in there over there. So let's change that to 100, 100, 150. So we know our y, it has to be at 50. And there you go.